Hi guys, I'm going to talk about a few things today. I don't know if it is going to be structured or I just don't care. I just want my message to be put out there because I feel lots of people are going through the same things or the same situation that I went through since my childhood, and I want to express all of my feelings, the experiences I had, what I learned from the situations that I had to go through. And yeah, that's it. I just wanted to put my message out there and like openly talk about my experiences, the feelings that I had, and all the emotions that I went through while in the process of healing from being the kid who has no friends. So, starting off, I want to share my experience or how it went, what did I go through. So, since kid, I was the typical nerd of my class. Like, basically, I used to study all the time and like I was good, a good student, which was great, which is perfect, amazing. But the thing was that my family always pressurized me into becoming the academically validated student, which was good for them. But the thing was, it made me ignore and, deprioritize friendships. To be honest, it was never me who deprioritized friendship in the first place. My environment, the people I was surrounded with, my family, they always prioritized study over everything else. So my parents always used to tell me that friends to kya hi hai, they will come and go and stuff like that. So I kept thinking that it was true. Okay, that is the reason I began to develop less empathy in my life. And in the beginning stages when I was at school, I was like okay with it. It was fine because I had a few friends in school. I did not change school. Okay, I was not one of those kids who would change school every few years. I was in the same place for a long time since my class 10th, so it was fine for me. I had a few friends in class and it was okay for me. The problem arose when I went to Kota for my further studies. So in my 11th standard I went to Kota and there were so many new people. And that is when I realized that because of having so much restrictions in my past, I am not able to talk to anyone. Like, restrictions, I mean, by restrictions I mean lots of restrictions. I was not able to hang out. Like, I was not allowed to hang out with any of my classmates. I was not allowed to attend any birthday parties if they had one. I was not allowed to go to tuitions alone. I was not allowed to go to the school alone. Like, my father always accompanied me wherever I went, and it somehow as a consequence made my self esteem very low. Like, I had grown up thinking that like I do not really need friends and it's fine for me if I don't have any friends, and like making friends is just going to be easy for me. And as a consequence I became a very bad conversationalist. I had zero conversation skills. I could not small talk with anyone, and it had become so hard for me after I went to Kota. It got progressively harder with each passing month. I mean, while I was seeing that everyone in my class was making friends, they were giggling, they were like all having fun, sharing social groups, I was the only one who was alone. I didn't know how to talk to anyone, I didn't know how to approach anyone. Okay, I felt like I am the odd one out in the entire place. I just felt so left out, and that in consequence made me feel like I'm not enough. I felt like there is something wrong with me. There has to be something wrong with me. I mean, everyone is making friends, everyone is being friendly with each other. Why am I the person who is not able to make friends? Till then, I had not realized that my childhood and the way I grew up was the reason behind this. But I just kept on blaming myself. I kept on, telling myself that I am the problem. I am not good enough. Okay. So these are the reasons I just felt so very bad, okay, in my 11th and 12th standard. And After that, I went into college, okay? And in college too, nothing changed, okay? I thought in college everything is gonna be fine. I'm going to be okay. I'm gonna make friends. There are gonna be new people. But soon I realized that none of this is like how I thought it's going to be. So after I went into college, I thought that things are going to be fine. Okay, I'm going to make new friends, but it all it all just came back to the same point. The same situation arose over and over again, and I realized that there is some problem in me. Okay, my self esteem was at its lowest at this point. Okay, everyone in my class had a social group. Okay, and I felt like, sometimes I remember when I was sitting in my class and I was thinking that, why everyone is making friends, everyone is inviting, friends to their birthday parties, they were partying together, they were going out together. Okay, and I felt so left out during my college years, especially because I felt like, yeah, college is the time where you're like having fun, you're like meeting new people, and I knew that. But the fact that I was not able to make any friends, or like not even able to talk to anyone, it just hit my self esteem harder than ever. I had like zero confidence. I felt like, what the hell is happening to me? It is not supposed to happen to me. And I thought that I was such a good student. I used to get such good grades, but right now I am suffering and I'm struggling so much with basic conversation. It was just making my life even harder. And that is what I was going through my entire college year. But by the end of it, I have realized a lot of things, a lot of realizations, a lot of self awareness came into my mind that I felt worth sharing. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about are the reasons why most people suffer, or most people face the situations that I had faced in my childhood. Is number one is restrictions. Of course, in my case, I had lots of restrictions in my life. My parents did not allow me to leave anywhere. Like, I was not allowed to go anywhere. I was not allowed to mingle with people, meet with new people, talk with anyone. Okay. So, like, I don't blame my parents, to be honest, because, to be honest, they did what was best for me according to their knowledge. They gave me what they knew best. But the thing is that the same thing that they felt is going to be good for me just backfired. Okay, they thought that protecting me from other people will make me not face the problems that they had faced, but it just created new problems for me. What happened was, I became so there a lot of self consciousness. I became self conscious at a deep level. I thought that maybe nobody wanted me as a consequence. Okay, and I started doing lots of things, or coping mechanisms. So one of the main important reason that I feel is self isolation, or isolation since childhood. Now, some isolation methods are not as bad, but I feel like isolation or self isolation, restriction can play a very big role when it comes to not having friends. Okay, or struggling when it comes to making friends in the future. I feel like self isolation or restricted isolation by parents, by family, or friends, or whoever, these things can really lower our self esteem. This will keep us in our comfort zone, and they will not let us grow. They will not let us become the person that we want to become. Okay, in my case, I was not allowed, I was restricted, which is why I felt like everything that I was doing was wrong. My self esteem was at its lowest. Okay, and I felt like it was not worth it. So, next, I'm going to talk about the emotional impact it does on our mental health and on our physical health as well. So, when I was in college, I felt the worst. I did not want to go to college every single day. I did not want to wake up. I was like literally going through depression because I felt like I have no one in class. I have zero self esteem. I don't know what to do if I went to class. Okay. I was like an emotional wreck at that moment. Okay, the emotional aspects of not having friends is constant sadness, not feeling enough, and feeling like you have to do something in order to please them, in order to make friends. Okay. Next, I want to talk about the coping mechanisms that I took up in order to feel good about myself. Now, the thing is that I was feeling low, of course. I was feeling drained. I was feeling self conscious and insecure. And definitely, I hated being that way. Everybody who has been through the situation definitely hates being helpless, hates being like miserable. So, in order to feel good about myself, to feel, good about whatever I was doing, I took up some coping mechanisms. One of the biggest coping mechanism that I took up was people pleasing. Okay, it justified all of my actions. Okay, when I asked that why are you being so low, why are you like losing your self respect for someone, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm doing that because he or she is my friend. Okay, that was the thought. Okay, that was the primary thought that I told myself. Okay, it was a coping mechanism. People pleasing, जब कुछ भी काम नहीं करता, when nothing works, you feel like you have to please them, you have to do something, you have to imitate someone else in order to be, or in order to feel worthy of their attention. That is something I feel has happened to me as well personally. Like, I became a massive people pleaser, let me tell you. Now, what people pleasing is? People pleasing is when your self worth is very low and you feel like in order to validate your worth, you have to do something or be someone else in order to feel worthy of others' attention or others' love. I felt like I do not deserve enough. And as a result, what happened was I started people pleasing. I started to imitate people. Like, for example, the popular people in class, I started to imitate them. Why? Because I wanted to be liked. I had no friends. I did not know what to do otherwise. So, what happened was I did what I felt was the best option. That is people pleasing. Now, people pleasing has a very bad role, okay, a very bad impact on our mental health. It will not only lower our expectations, it will not only make us feel sad and self conscious, but it will also ruin our mental health in the long term, okay? Because people pleasing won't take you anywhere. No matter what, you will live on people's mercy. If you constantly think about how I can please them, you will also constantly think about how are they thinking about me. So even if they are not around, you will still imitate them. You will still imitate other people. You will still feel self-conscious that what if they think this about me? You are just literally destroying your authentic self. Some selfish thoughts. Now, another coping mechanism that people might adopt is number one, selfish thoughts. What are selfish thoughts? Basically, they are that, whatever, I'll be fine, I don't need them. That is one another thought that people might adopt. Selfish thoughts are when you begin to completely shun out everything. You self isolate yourself. You realize that ये तो मुझसे होने ही नहीं वाला है, I'll just stop. I'll just stop making friends. I'll stop trying. I will not talk to anyone. I'll just leave. That is another very toxic mindset. People pleasing is toxic, definitely. It needs to be, healed from inside. But also, these mindset of I will not talk to anyone, nobody loves me, and I don't care, I'll stay alone. These are also equally toxic. Okay. We feel that being aloof, not talking to anyone, will make us feel better, will make us feel not miserable. But the truth is far from this. I feel like I have been through both the stages. In the beginning of my college years, I began people pleasing. I wanted to, please anyone. I wanted to be helpful. I wanted to, you know, be kind. Okay, there are two things. If you are kind, it's great, okay? But if you have some ulterior motives behind that kindness, that is when your mental health comes into view. How I was doing the kindness, the helpfulness, not because I wanted to genuinely help them. I was doing those kindness because I wanted to be loved. I was being selfish. I wanted attention, and that is the reason I was doing all those things. I was not doing all those things or all those acts of kindness because I wanted to. Okay, there is this genuine big difference between it. Okay, so what happened was I resorted to people pleasing in the beginning years. I thought that maybe if I people please, maybe if I, you know talk to someone, like, and help someone and be nice to someone, do whatever they say, let them walk all over me, they will love me. But the truth was far from this. Nobody did do that. Okay, even after, being the good girl and always letting others walk all over me, I did not get the love that I deserved. I did not get the love that I expected. And it literally broke my heart. Why? Because I was putting so much expectations on my validation. Okay, I was putting all of my expectations on external validation. I was craving external validation so much at that point that every time someone told that I'm not good enough, I felt the worst. I believed every word that they said. The next part of my college, or the next half of my college, I resorted to being aloof. I don't want to talk to anyone. If people pleasing does not work, I'm out. I'm going out. If I do not talk to anyone, they can't hurt me. Why? Because I have tried people pleasing. Now they have hurt me a lot of times. I'm gonna go not talk to anyone, and no one can hurt me. Now, there was another thing. It did not make me feel better. Okay, it did not make me feel better. So, the truth was that even after trying so many ways to people please, to be aloof and not talk to anyone, my misery, my helplessness, my self doubt, my self, esteem, nothing rose. Like, it was still there. Everything that I was suffering from was still there. So, after everything that I have been through, at the end of my college years, I have realized that all the things that I was doing was wrong. The coping mechanisms I was going through, the emotional turmoil that I was going through, that was in my heart, all of it, everything of it was, how I was letting myself feel. Okay, it was all what I thought. Okay, the lessons that I learned from all these self sabotaging behaviors, these people pleasing actions, everything taught me one lesson at the end of it. The things that I learned the most was self awareness. I became so much aware of myself. Now, there are two different things. Now, there is a difference between self awareness and self consciousness. When you are self aware, you know exactly what the problem within you is, and you do not hate yourself for it. Instead, you go on and work on those problems in order to be a better version of yourself. But when you are self conscious, you are conscious about what others are thinking about you. Okay, you are not conscious about yourself. I don't know how the vocabulary came, but it's like that. I'm talking about self consciousness, where you are conscious about what others are thinking about you and not about how you are in general. The locus of control is in others' hands. You are like, others are thinking bad about me, so I cannot do anything about it. It's like you have no control over it, how others are thinking. So you try to change how others are thinking rather than changing what you feel inside. Okay, so the thing that I learned in the whole process was self awareness. I became a lot self aware. In my healing journey, this self awareness has like helped me a lot to understand who am I as a person. So the question arises, when did things actually change and how to change it? So things changed when I changed. Now, I'm not kidding when I say this. How did I change, first of all? The thing is that I did not do anything special. I did not change my appearance. I did not change the way I speak, the way I walk, the way I dress. None of it changed. What changed was my mindset. Now, by mindset, I mean my thought process, how I thought, how I looked at things, my perspective. Now, when I was not talking to anyone, when no one was talking to me, I felt like I am not enough, I am not good enough. None of the things that I do is ever enough, okay? And that made me shun everyone out, like lock the door and never talk to anyone. Now, this thought process was very destructive. It made me feel even more miserable. It did not save me, it did not make me feel any better. So, what I did instead was I realized that all of the things that I was doing was bringing me no progress. I was not feeling better about the situation at all. And I thought, why am I not feeling better about it? I have done everything that I could. I tried to control their behaviors, I tried to control the outcome, but none of it worked. So, what I did instead was I changed the way I thought about myself. I changed the way I perceived friendship. Okay. I started thinking highly of myself. And by highly, I don't mean that I am the best in the world and stuff like that. I began practicing self love and self confidence. Okay. And this isn't a hard concept. It's not like you will automatically become everyone's favorite. And to be honest, it's not a one day thing, an overnight thing. It's not like you start practicing self love and self care, and automatically everyone's gonna come and talk to you, everyone's gonna be your friend, and you're gonna be popular. No, that's not what's going to happen. What will happen instead is you will stop feeling miserable about yourself. Let me talk about this. There are two kinds of people: people who love being alone, and people who hate being alone. So, the people who love being alone, they cannot be shaken by anything. Even if people don't talk to them, they're still going to be happy. And that is what our goal should be, right? Like being happy. That is exactly what we all want, to be happy no matter what. So, why is it that the absence of friends and people not talking to us making us so self conscious? We could just stop. But how can we stop? The thing is that when you start loving being alone, that is when your self esteem grows. It's not an overnight process that in one day you're going to have lots of friends and everything is going to be perfect. No. Instead, what is going to happen is you are going to feel at peace with yourself. You're not going to be in constant fight with yourself. Okay. So, there are a few things that I did when it came to, changing my thought process and my perspective about friendship or about life or about myself in general. I started practicing affirmations and visualization. Now, everyone will talk about, we know about affirmations, they don't work, they blah blah blah, and all that stuff. It's because with affirmations you have to believe it. Like, affirmations does not work without belief. I actually believed what I told myself, and that's what brought the most change. I mean, if we say like I am the prettiest girl in the world, or for example, if we say I am the most intelligent girl in the world, and you don't believe it, like, for example, you say, I am a very intelligent person, and you don't believe it, you will not feel better about yourself. The goal is to not be intelligent. The goal is to feel better about yourself, okay? And when you feel better about yourself, you automatically put in action. Like, for example, in my case, what I did was I told myself, I am a very good conversationalist. I go up and talk to people. I initiate conversations, okay? I do not have any problem talking with people. I love making small talks. I just love talking to people. People love me lots. Whenever I talk to them, people love talking to me. These are the affirmations that I said, and I believed each and every word of it. Now I believed those words, which is why I put in action. How? I went and talked to people in real life. Now, if I had my previous thought process, I would be like, oh my god, I can't talk to people. I cannot. I have zero self esteem. They will probably not like me. They will hate me. I cannot make small talk. I can never go up and talk to people. Now, if I had that mindset, I would never have went off and talked to people. I would have never approached anyone in my life. And if I do not approach anyone in my life, your chances of making friends is literally zero. That's the truth. If you do not talk to anyone, you cannot make friends. That is the truth, okay? A few experiences of my life, okay, has made that belief in my head that I cannot talk to people, I am not good enough, okay? In my childhood years, that notion that I am not good in small talks, I cannot go up and talk to people, had been limiting me, had been limiting my belief system, which is why I never went up and talked to people. But the thing that changed was I started telling myself that I am good enough and I am going to go and talk to them. Now, what I do instead is, without thinking, my thought process has changed so much that I go on and talk to them. I was like, yeah, I'm a good conversationalist. I can go and talk to anybody that I like, okay? It's going to be completely fine. It's fine. What happened? And when you talk about those things, your self esteem, your self confidence grows immensely. Now you know that even if people don't like you, it's fine, because you know that you can talk to another person and be completely fine with it, okay? So that is the thing. That is what actually changed, in my opinion, in me, that has helped me become, or that has helped me release the fear that I was holding in my heart, that I was holding in me for such a long time. What the fear was? The fear was that I cannot go and talk to people. The fear was I am not a good conversationalist. The fear was I am not worthy of making friends. All the while, all of these was false. All of these were false, and all of those notions that I was building up in my head were farther from the truth. If I had to give one significant advice to everyone in this video in order to sum up this whole thing, I would say that do not give in to your fears. Even if your past experiences told you that you are not good enough, you are not worthy enough, always know that there are reasons behind it. For me, it was restrictions. For me, it was not talking to new people. For your case, it might be different. It might be a whole new different story. But always remember that the reason why you are not able to talk to anyone or not able to make friends is not you. Okay? It's not a problem you have. It is a thing that happened to you that made you this way. Okay? And anybody who were in your shoes at that moment would have done the same thing. Okay, it's completely normal, it's completely fine. There is no problem with you. Okay, it's just how you view yourself. Okay, so I would say that always face your fears. Do not give in to your fears. Okay, your fears do not define you. That is what I would say. And if you don't like something about yourself, then go on and take active steps to change that. And yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. I hope you liked my video. If you did, please go and subscribe. This is the first video that I'm making, sitting down and talking like this, so it's a big feat for me myself, why I have overcome my fear and sit here to talk about this. So Yeah, exactly. My experiences were not the best, but I still chose to talk about it because I feel like if it helps just one person, I feel like this video will be totally worth it. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. The gist of the video is all about, even if you feel like you are lonely at the moment, even if you feel like you are alone at the moment, do not give in to your fears. Do not sit with your comfort zone. Do not sit with the feeling that I am miserable and I cannot make friends. Tell yourself, okay, affirm to yourself that I can do this. I am a very friendly person. Okay, say this to yourself every single day, every morning, every night, before you sleep, or wherever you want to. I will just suggest, go on and tell this to yourself every day. Believe it with all your heart and put in actions. That is how you're going to literally change every thought process that you have. And it's not like you will stop having those thoughts in your life, okay? You will, you know, as you are going through your healing journey, you will also have those thoughts, the past thought process that you used to have. It will come resurfacing every time you are facing your fears. Like, for example, you tell yourself that I can go and talk up to people, but when you go and talk to people, your past thoughts will resurface. Oh my god, don't do this, don't do this, and they're not gonna like you, don't do this, don't do this. But remember that those are just thoughts, just like the thought that I can do this. You chose that thought, right? Similarly, the thought that I cannot do this was also chosen by you. How years and years of telling yourself that I cannot do this, okay, years and years of reaffirming yourself that I am not good enough, okay. So the thing is that always choose to believe your new thought now, okay. Doesn't have to be years, just months would work, okay, days would work. Go on and tell yourself every single day that I am good enough, I can make friends, everybody loves me, I can go and talk to new people. And genuinely believe those thoughts, because when we do, your brain tells you that yeah, sure, you can do this, and when you start believing this, you can put in action towards it. So yeah, that is all that I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope that this video has helped even one person. If it did, I'm very, very grateful, very, very thankful. That's what my motive was, to put this video out into the world. Bye bye.